Hello everyone, this is my longer vlog for The Masked Singer Season 9, Episode 4. Sorry it has taken me so long to get this done. Anyway, I already did a short vlog on who I think Gargoyle and Squirrel may be, so in this longer vlog I'll discuss their clues and also who I think they are, tell songs performed on the episode, which was DC Superheroes Night, talk about panel guesses and outfits, which I didn't do a whole lot actually, tell what character went home and who he was, because I did tell who went home on my short one, but I did not tell who he is, so I'm sure most people have already seen it. And for the record, at this point, I have not watched the new episode, episode 5. I watched The Masked Singer on Hulu the day after. I just got up not too long ago and I haven't even turned on my TV, so I haven't seen the new one yet. So, for all I know, Squirrel gets revealed this time. I don't know. I kind of hope not, but especially not if she's who I think she is. But, so, that being said, I will talk about, as I was saying, the character that went home and who he turned out to be. Feel free to give me your thoughts on any and all of these topics. I'm sorry, I'm just basically going to be reading this today because I'm so tired. I've not been sleeping well. Anyway, so the episode began with Nicole singing I Need a Hero while dressed like Catwoman. I almost said Harley Quinn. She was dressed as Catwoman. Robin Thicke, of course, was dressed as Robin. Ken was dressed as the Riddler, and Jenny was a very good Harley Quinn. Really liked her getup and her personality that she put along with it. So the first character that performed was Gargoyle. He appears to be rather tall, but it seems they somehow alter that at times, so I don't know for sure. I was thinking that I had written this down, but I think I already said it on my shorter one. My first thought when he walked out was, hey, this is David Hasselhoff. Right, he's about the right build and everything. So they showed a cathedral setting, of course, because he's a gargoyle, with statues and a chessboard. He said he knew he wanted to be a superhero from the age of 6. While his peers seemed to fly, he was always on the sideline. And they showed a jukebox. So this stuff leads me to believe maybe it is a singer. But yeah, there was a jukebox in the background, and they showed the jukebox closer up, and it had a sticker on it that said, I love L.A. These statues that they showed all over the place were actually angels, and they got close in on one of them, which was when I realized that, and I was like, is it maybe David Boreanaz, angel himself? Because that would be a good clue for him. And then there were the multiple angels, but on Angel, he not only worked with demons and vampires and such stuff, but there were also some angels that were on there. So, besides him, of course, I mean, he wasn't an angel, but anyway, that was his name. But anyway, he said his dad advised him to never let anyone tell him he can't do something, which I'm sure there are a lot of dads who have advised people of that. There was a man wearing a World's Greatest Dad t-shirt, and they showed a video game controller, and I wrote in parentheses, making plays, because he was making plays on the controller. There was lightning. They did focus on a gate, like he was about to walk out of the gate, I believe, if I recall right. Said he shocked millions with how hard he slayed. I saw the word slayed. I was like, yeah, I feel like maybe it's Angel, right? Because he slayed vampires on Buffy. They showed hot sauce and a taco, which I have not been able to connect to anybody that I think it might be. That had me thinking Pitbull for a while, but the guy is way too tall to be Pitbull. And also Danny Trejo, but he's already been on there and he's way too short. So then they showed a large stone and or brick home type building instead of the cathedral. It looked like somebody's home. There was one of the guys was wearing a wig with blonde braids. The person ate the taco with the hot sauce and screamed fire. They went from... Oh, he said he went from being the guy they passed on to the guy they passed to. And acting early on was hard for David Boreanaz, I know. And blonde wig girl with the braids made me think of Buffy also. And you know, she screamed and fire came out, and there were weird things that happened with Buffy on Buffy. Anyway, so then the person who had breathed the fire drank a bottle of water. I was waiting to see if there was going to be some sort of holy water effect to it, but they didn't show that there was. He said, now when the lights are blinding and the game's on the line, he always answers the call. Sounds like it's referencing some sort of sport, but not necessarily. It could be just talking about his career, right? The person, which was the woman who had breathed the fire and drank the water, now she breathes smoke, like kind of like fog, like, you know. Anyway, he sang "One Call Away" by, sorry, oh, I don't know why I wrote it that way, but anyway, they did show the charge card with $3 signs on it, which could, as Robin said, be referencing the Chargers, but it also could just mean it's someone that has a lot of money and spends a lot, or someone who maybe didn't have a lot of money, but worked their way up to having a lot of money, if that makes sense. Sorry, my toilet is going to be running because it does that sometimes, and I forgot to turn off the water. So anyway, as I was about to say, he sang "One Call Away" by Charlie Puth. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Charlie. Doubt you're going to watch this vlog anyway. But anyway, I thought that he sounded a bit like Chris Brown. I made sure to make that note because that was my initial thought. He sounds a lot like Chris Brown. And I did discover when I was looking information up on the internet yesterday to see where other people's thoughts are, that apparently several people thought that he sounded like Chris Brown. And I was like, I don't feel like the build is right for him. But could be Chris Brown, all right? That would be awesome. And so I said, actually, call me crazy. He seems a bit older to me because of the way he was walking, and he did dance and move around a fair amount, but not as much as some of the younger people do, right? And going by his movements and his voice when he was performing, he made me think of P. Diddy. And I was thinking this song "One Call Away" made me think of the one that he did for P. Diddy, I was thinking it was, which was "Every Breath You Take." But I'm thinking there's another song that he did. You know, he has the one that's kind of gospel-y, and I was thinking maybe the voice sounded like his voice on that song when I watched it later. But, you know, P. Diddy, he makes plays, he is in the game, and he has lots of money. He's very religious. So I was like, this could be P. Diddy. I still also feel like it could be Angel, but I'm not real sure where the charge card with the $3 on it, the hot sauce or the taco come in with him. Of course, I'm also not real sure where those come in with P. Diddy. I looked up some, it was when I was looking up David Boreanaz, it said something about his family recipe for hot sauce, but I don't know if that was legit or if it was just something, you know, sometimes silly stuff pops up that, like, what would his recipe for hot sauce for his family be if he had one? And I didn't look into it a whole lot because I was kind of in a hurry trying to do it. Excuse me. So his extra clue was record maker. So yeah, possibly P. Diddy, maybe not, but P. Diddy is a record producer, so possibly. So yeah, I like the David Boreanaz thought, especially because of the slang and the girl with the white braids. However, I think for right now I'm going to go with P. Diddy, just because I feel like possibly more of the clues match him, but there are so many singers who are also religious and such, so I'm, you know, kind of up in the air with him. I think I'll go David Boreanaz or P. Diddy for now. There we go. How's that? He said he's the king of making waves in the field, but being part of history is the best bonus he could ever have. And so, you know, we related that to The panel, even for the most part, related it to sports. So making waves in the field, see, he doesn't say on the field, he says in the field. So that makes me think that perhaps he's not an athlete. Actually, my initial thoughts were Dennis Rodman, or I'm going to forget who the other person was. I thought he might have been. Oh yeah, David Hasselhoff or Dennis Rodman. And it's like, I don't know. I don't feel like he's either of those people after rewatching it and paying more attention to his specific clues, right? So, but yeah, he said, you know, making waves in the field, being part of history is the best bonus he could ever have. And I feel like David Boreanaz has been part of history because there was not a show that I know of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer before it came about, and Bones was the first one about anthropology, about, you know, actually working with bones, which he did not do himself, but that was what the show was about. And he's done a lot of stuff along that line. And of course, P. Diddy has just been like, you know, he started out rapping or singing. He's done both of those. He has a clothing line. He has his own record producing company. So it's like he has really, I would say, he's made history. But anyway, so the panel's thoughts on him were, Robin went with LA Chargers tight end Anthony Gates, partly because they showed that gate. I thought the gate could also be referencing, you know, heaven or hell gate, and that could reference angel, or it could reference P. Diddy because, you know, I don't know. Ken went with The Weeknd, and I felt like he may be the closest because I feel like it's probably a singer or an actor who sings instead of an athlete at this point. Jenny said Odell Beckham Jr., whom I believe she guessed in season 1 for somebody. But anyway, I think she guessed him maybe for Monster. So yeah, she said Odell Beckham Jr., who played for the LA Rams and the New York Giants, because he said something about being a giant in the industry, apparently. I'm torn myself because all of my guesses can sing, but him saying he slayed and the girl with the blonde braided wig, along with the statues of angels, has me leaning toward Angel himself, David Boreanaz. But as I said, I'm also really strongly leaning toward P. Diddy, so I don't know. Hopefully he's one or the other of them. So the character that they revealed was Wolf, and I loved his outfit. He gave me and my sister Johnny Depp vibes. I thought he moved like Captain Jack Sparrow with the swankiness and, you know, strut and such. So, and they also showed a pirate ship, which I feel like they did so that we would think he was Johnny Depp, right? But anyway, there was a saxophone that threw me off since Johnny Depp plays the guitar, but I'm not sure if he plays the saxophone, right? They showed a lot of red velvet, there were rose petals, a glass of champagne. He seemed to be a really romantic guy. I didn't write down a lot of his clues because he's already been revealed, right? Those are the ones that really caught my eye as I was watching it, though. He sang Break On Through, and it didn't say who sings it, and I'm not even sure if that's what it's called. Break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side. He sang that song. And got a standing ovation. He got a whole bunch of applause, so I was really surprised that he went home, right? So most of the panel knew his iconic voice, so 3 of them got him right. The extra clue for him was Timberlake, and he said he's collaborated with JT, which doesn't narrow it down because Justin Timberlake collaborated with a whole bunch of people, including The Weeknd, which made me go, maybe this is The Weeknd, right? Ken guessed Richard Marx, The other guys guessed Michael Bolton, and I wrote later on who he turned out to be, which if you have seen it, you already know who he did turn out to be. And I think that I already said that 3 of them got it right too, so I guess that tells you, right? Anyway, the last one to perform was Squirrel, whom they showed fall slowly from a tree with her arms and legs kind of spread out, right? No, that looks familiar. There was a green screen behind her, indicating to me that she has done some animated movies and such. She said growing up, she was a professional figure skater, which I can't get to go with who I think she is, but she said growing up, she was a professional figure skater with Olympic dreams. They showed a wardrobe. She wanted to be a child psychologist. They showed a smiley face button. Her superpower is empathy. Side note, she said, side note, my superpower is empathy. There was a gorilla. She said she landed herself in the Psycho city of Hollywood, which had me thinking maybe someone from Psycho, right? They showed her giving an autograph, so she must be fairly well known. And I thought it was interesting. I looked up. She's part of why I looked up who people thought people were, her and Medusa, and discovered that one of the people I briefly considered for her, some other people are thinking that she might be as well, and there are other people who are also thinking that she could be Anne Hathaway, which is who I think she is still. But so, as I said, they showed her giving an autograph, which to me says that she is fairly well known. Like people would see her on the street and be like, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" And she said they said it was lunchtime. She said she modeled for a major agency, did teen acne commercials, landed international sitcom parts, and made out with Tom Cruise. And part of that, I don't know about for Anne Hathaway. She did do a few sitcoms, and she may or may not have done acne commercials. I don't know that she ever actually modeled. And I was thinking The Devil Wears Prada. I was thinking they made a second one where she modeled instead of working for the editing magazine, but apparently that never actually happened. They were working on it, but it never actually took place. But so they showed meatballs that had pomegranate, which led some people to Swedish meatballs, but to me they didn't necessarily appear to be Swedish meatballs, and they had the pomegranate in there, which pomegranates make you think of the Mediterranean, or they do me anyway. So there was also various fruit on a table. She said she loves getting to play superheroes just as much as playing the girl next door who's also funny, which made me go, Emma Stone? That was who that made me think of. She has been on a superhero movie. I forgot to write down which one it was. Really love her. I know she can sing, but I don't feel like the voice is right for her singing, right? So, but Emma Stone did do acne commercials, and she has played the girl next door a lot, and she was in the movie where she played for a superhero. Can't right offhand think of what it is, but anyway, they showed a castle cutout, and she said she has range, and they went back to the green screen and her falling slowly again, which made me think of Alice in Wonderland. I believe I already said for my other thing, which Anne Hathaway was on, but she did not play for Alice herself. A lot of these clues also kind of made me think of Helen Bonham. I'm not going to think of her entire name. You know who I'm talking about, Helen Bonham. She plays for the Red Queen, whereas Anne Hathaway plays for the White Queen. Her clues also did make me think of Cameron Diaz, and I'm trying to think, which is the one that other people are thinking too, in addition to Anne Hathaway. And I'm trying to think the name of the girl that was in Enchanted, because she also falls through a portal type thing that takes her from fairy tale land to New York City. So I was also thinking her, I can't think of her name right now. But yeah, she said she's going to show us how nuts she is, because, you know, she's squirrel, and she said that, and I was like, I mean, that I can't think of any of them, and that kind of was part of where my mind went. Maybe it's Cameron Diaz, and I'm looking at her size, what appears to be her size anyway, and thinking possibly closer to Cameron Diaz's size. So she's saying Try by Pink, and I think did a very good job. Her extra clue was a Batman sketch that said Hero Time. Anne Hathaway played Catwoman at one time. Apparently that was in Batman Returns. Anne Hathaway was Catwoman. And sometimes Catwoman is a superhero, sometimes she's a villain, right? But there was someone on the panel that had some thoughts that I liked as well concerning her. She said the work she puts into her projects is all worth it when she sees the final product. So Jenny guessed Katie Holmes, which I feel like is probably a little too obvious for the Tom Cruise clue. Ken went with Margot Robbie, who plays Harley Quinn. So now, that is the guess that I like, because though Harley Quinn is a villain, there's the movie, I'm not going to think of what it's called. There's the newer movie where her and some of the villains fight some of the bad guys, and so they're the heroes in that movie. So it's like, now it's time to be a hero instead of being the villain. Was kind of what I was thinking about that. And Harley Quinn is part of the Batman series, so. But so apparently I missed a clue saying All Dolled Up. And he said that, Ken said that Margot Robbie is set to play Barbie in a movie, so she would be all dolled up for that. But also the all dolled up clue could be for like Princess, I almost said Princess Diaries, is that the right one? I believe it is, where Anne Hathaway found out that she was a princess, and they changed her from being this geeky, nerdy schoolgirl to being the princess and got her all dolled up, right? So, that being said, Robin decided to go with Uma Thurman. I also like that guess, and that connects to the Swedish thing. Now, when I was looking at the stuff online, the main people that people are thinking she is actually, you know what, I'm going to look at it because I don't want to say the wrong people. My phone keeps wanting to update. But anyway, I took a screenshot of who people are thinking. Oh no. Or wait, yes, okay. So a lot of people apparently for Squirrel are thinking Malin Ackerman. She apparently was in The Proposal, Rock of Ages, Couples Retreat, 27 Dresses, and Watchmen. I do not know who Malin Ackerman is. I saw a picture of her and I'm still like, yeah, I've seen all of those, but I don't know who it is. And people are also thinking Cameron Diaz, Natalie Portman, and Anne Hathaway. I don't get the Natalie Portman thing, but Anne Hathaway and and Cameron Diaz I could see. So for Gargoyle, as I mentioned, it said that people are thinking Chris Brown, but also people have named Shawn Mendes, Marquez Houston, who I don't know who is, Jason Derulo, but the main person that people are thinking for him is Nick Jonas. And I was like, I don't see these clues leading me to Nick Jonas, but people think that he sounds like some of those people. So anyway, the other person I was thinking that people were thinking for her is actually someone that people are thinking for Medusa. So anyway, I've not seen anyone else really say that they think that Medusa might be Jennifer Love Hewitt, but I'm still sticking with her. So after that is when Wolf was revealed. As I said, I already basically told who he was. I stuck with Johnny Depp, mostly because of his movements and stuff, and I know that Johnny Depp can sing. He's been in a band for decades. But I wasn't sure who else to guess, right? So I went ahead and went with Johnny Depp. I did not recognize the iconic voice. Unfortunately, I've not been a huge fan of this person down through the years just because his style of music wasn't necessarily the style of music that I was exposed to, right? So the panel said Michael Bolton, except Ken stuck with Richard Marx. He got so much applause for his performance, I figured he would move on. He did turn out to be Michael Bolton, one of the biggest reveals of the show ever. So that was awesome. And I think I was looking, made a note that I still need to make a vlog for the clues about California Roll, and then I was trying to find where this page started, and I was like, no, okay, apparently I did already do that. Sorry about that, guys, but my throat's getting very dry. But I did want to mention in this vlog as well that I am leaning stronger on California Roll toward High School Musical cast than I was. I'm still wanting to rewatch that episode and see who the person is that says these specific clues, but I feel like the baseball clue references when Corbin Bleu and Lucas Graybill are singing and dancing, and it's the I Don't Dance song. My grandson and I watched High School Musical and High School Musical 2 yesterday. He really seemed to enjoy them. But I feel like that references that, and the surfer clue could reference Zac Efron. It could reference Corbin Bleu. The getting married one, I think, references Corbin Bleu. There are just so many clues in there that I feel like reference the High School Musical cast. And currently where I'm leaning with who they are is I think the guy that did the singing on the episode that we have seen so far was actually neither Zac Efron or Lucas Graybill. I feel like he was Corbin Bleu because he kind of has more of a boy band tone to his voice. And I had also mentioned previously that possibly one of the guys could be Drew Seeley because he sang on season 1, and I believe he was also on season 2 and 3, but he did the singing for Zac Efron on season 1 because they felt like Zac's voice was too low for these songs. I feel like there was maybe one song he sang on there himself, but the other two, well, okay, I feel like it is Zac Efron, Lucas Graybill, and Corbin Bleu. And the other ones I'm leaning toward are either Ashley Tisdale and Vanessa Hudgens, who has a very, very distinct voice, and I'm not sure that her and Zac Efron would be on there together. I think it could be the girl that played for Monique on there instead, or possibly the girl that played for Kelsey. So anyway, that being said, on more about season 9 episode 4, right? And then I'm going to try to watch season 9 episode 5, but I need to vacuum and do some other stuff before my grandson comes over today. So he and I a lot of times watch it together, and I make some mental notes, and then I go back later and watch and get a better grasp for what the clues are, which is what happened last time. That's why I'm doing this longer one now. So anyway, Gargoyle and Squirrel battled to Kryptonite by 3 Doors Down. I thought they both did a very good job. I had said previously that I didn't feel like Gargoyle was worth saving. It's more of they have no idea who's gonna come up on the next 2 rounds, and they won't be able to save anyone now from this group because they've already saved him, right? But it does seem like they have 3 very good singers on this show. I almost say good actors, but I mean, 2 people beating Michael Bolton. If they are not professional singers, they should be very, very extremely proud of themselves for accomplishing that. So, as I was saying, they battled to Kryptonite by 3 Doors Down. Gargoyle lost, and the panel stuck to their guesses that they had previously for him. Let me look back here and reread who they said that they believed he was. So Ken said The Weeknd. Jenny said Odell Beckham Jr. And Robin said Anthony Gates. And I guess I didn't write down who Nicole said. Unless I oh yeah, okay, Nicole guessed Mario. So she also went toward a singer for him. She thought he sounded like Mario, which is the only person that I have heard or seen it said Mario. So, but anyway, Jenny saved him by hitting the bell with her Harley Quinn bat, so he's still on there. And you know, rewatching it, a lot of times when I rewatch it, it seems like the sound quality is better. I'm not sure why that is, but as I said, I do watch it on Hulu, so I think that has something to do with it. But anyway, yeah, he seemed like he did do pretty well, and so did Squirrel. So I am glad to see him go on, but I hate to see who they're going to send home because they chose to save him, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now. Everyone have a great whatever time of night or day it is in your part of the world. Stay safe and stay positive.